Memoache wakwa baidoba na watwe adwumadie so ewa Dom TV ISA so twade ho ewa Sempa 94.7 FM yenda ekua boachewa ye adom ene dom se ase so motumi de eye anapade abre wo radio so aye ba beto so ewo ha na ene ye hia ye ba bedi nkomo efa nsama esiye ewo na watwe we mu na watwe we enim se ensem bebre na ene ba ye Professor Kwabena Frimpong Boateng Nkano na Nkano na da the Interministerial Committee on Illegal Mining and no ebeto just the Office of the Special Prosecutor etonsa freno ema omudin komowie no omukire ne say ade a omoache no ena omosan ema ne bail emunsensem beto dwa ne ebisa say eno no which hand anase ade a na ewohia pa ensemba ko a ye ba bedi hu enkomo enana pay again na watwe we mu na MPP New Patriotic Party no ko yi obi obegina o manemu for the sin of by election no so yade a ye bebisa se ensensem bia betu dwa bebre se yade a papa ipo onye obi oto naba wa sin north ho na no na ebisa se MPP Charles Opokui yade a emrama ne ho kwan so onjina say yento no so aba ewo Asin North constituency ana et saying yenim say the NDC eden semi betu dwa EC eden chechire mu ba ye NDC side den semi betu dwa yedin na betu dwa ewo ha na pay achirechire mu ma wo so watumi atensem na say ne be ya say wo di hu nkomo ba bia watumi edi nkomo yi fi say won so watensem na say na pay ye ne Ora Anthony Nukpenu oye NDC organizer for the Greater Accra region yene no ebesi nkonya ewo ha lawyer Enoch Afuakwa ye MPP communications team member na Ora Emmanuel Wilson Jr. ye CEO for Ghana Crusaders Against Corruption ononso baba kansa via Zoom yene ne bedi nkomo na yeko ahomatrom no nso a yene Ora Sami and a lawyer Sami Jemfi ono ye the NDC's National Communication Officer yene ne bedi enkomo ewo dwumadie we so menka wo se wadwenkyere yade a ye ne gye ho pa na eka ho ema show yi edimo entino bo moden ma ne mra okọ Facebook Adom TV a obeja wadwenkyere na ewo ho ye befa ne akan mo bia so atumi ho na wo so wo kyere ewo nsem a ye bedi eho nkomo so yenim se na wotwe we mu nso no ye launche the Green Ghana Day Friday and yetumi the two just nyina epese edua nnua ewo Ghana ha na yetumi akwatua air climate change and nso yade a esi na wotwe wo msense bebre na esi ye na momene no ye ba bedi ensem we mienu we hu nkomo Asin North primary by elections are airba no MPP Charles Opoku or qualified say obetumi agina de and Frimpong Boateng arresta OSP ediche no ye bisa say which hand and say yade a eho ehia oni yentina ne nyina yentumi mbobbo nsem we ho na yehu se hin ye de nsa ene nan beto ebeboa ema Ghana afa ne ntampe from Samuel Kojo Braits and nkame yabo medina say no Samuel Kojo Braits obetuma from SKB na on behalf of my production team emedase say wo dey we fide na to a wo hwe ne wotie so wa me kwan pose yemra ewo nchen ewo fie ene wo offices na oni yentina wa bra ye di nkome ho ye twa ye ho ne yaba ye ba ensem no ye de betudwa ama won so watumi atibi oni yentina ye ye ba. Right, ente memo akwaba bio enfambra ye na watwe dwumadie so wa Dom TV ene Asempa 94.7 FM ene safe na wode we Friday na to ha ye hwe ya Asin North by election ayebaso on the 27th of June 2023 no ye bisa se MPP for Charles Opoku ya to aba ma ne se ombegina party na nemu e o sa election mu no oyade a emrama ne ho kwan se ongina me ento no so aba e o sa constituency mu ana etesai ba kon so e behwe Professor Frimpong Boateng arrest no by the OSP and no ade a obi we chante no ana say ade na enwunya pa eno na ba bedi ho nkomo enne na emom yen start ewo Asin North already Ora Enoch Afuakwa ye member of the MPP's communications team no wa ba kansa Enoch edze
kokojo
anope
wo ho ayefen so pa
yami adom ne yi multimedia For ya share kama yɛde ha.
Mo see you ahwe mo ye.
Oh yeah.
Ahwe fa dware mo ye pa.
They're fantastic man.
Ohwe wo back ne ohwe wo ankasa say dem ho si aye fe ya. E say mo pa akonya keto bi sin fichire ha mo ya ne so. Ya ne so de ama mo ho aye fe no. Ya so yensan kakakra. Say de be ya ne nyina so ye. Na so so nua nam na say de bia so nua ho ye fe ne ho ye fe chen na say. Ya adwen.
Akwa bi chechi o yefe o say yefe no da ache hene so no ha yefe pa ade na nkonyo bia
ade no unse mo ye Ghana BBC o nti no Ghana BBC say me so mo condition of service ne ye nti ahofe no say bibi wo bibi yera kojochum say bi say kwasichum say hwe ade crowd dey odi siesie mo ho yefe say mo botum na emu odu nti na mo ho yefe sa na amaye nyina nso so no ya be akonya ketuwe bi ha de ya
so de ka ko bottom e du de o ni se o be ka se obi anaban wo ne party wa ban mo de
e Ghana fo nyina aban
e me se o party in power oh
Ghana fo nyina aban
anyway yen hwe eye ora Charles Opokun amakoye ne se onyina mo na mu empresa asem no fe konwa ne ho e wo sa constituency no no ade a NDC say onyobi otonaba ewo constituency ho se sana ti adentina mo tell mo say online ko gina mo na emo no
yo kodwo mi da se ma me fa mo fi dikese so fa nchia sonkoma ahwefo ne omo tie ye hinyina na me fa o manpanyin na adan kwakufu adonchia esan so do Ghana nti no brano bia no obeso o te Ghana fo nka na o ma Ghana fo hu ne ye se abato o motoma no 2016 na omusan hwe na Juma Passan renew ni mandate in 2020 no e ade na ni so ye pa na se de dan na o kaso de ahobrase ebesom Ghana man na wasom Ghana hye Ghana ye no oguso a oye ntotoye so kind of popular statement I will make you during the COVID era no say enipa wu a ontime resurrect nipa nkwa then so no the economy tip and some kra na ebinya san hye economy ni back to life and gradually no economy that tip and some you know we all bear testimony to the fact that economy ni guso a enyini ehye stabilize na mo manpanyin toto ye pa ode agu akwan nti no oti o se emfa mo kasa fidie so ne emfa ne nchia ene ema Ghana fo nyina se ebra kwa ho yehia kase no Ghana fo nyina ma na o nyina tai na chi eje ne nsem tu mo ma ahye egu so ehye Ghana na bosha wo ma Ghana fo o hye Ghana fo mo gina so to abama no enkosi se ne mandate ede ma no 2025 6 January ebedru no na de wo so ye ma Ghana na bosho shema Ghana no na Ghana for ehu ne pempenso ne akwakoduro enyina go back kojo so hwe asen of by election ekoya MPP yakwakoyi yewra chaso wusu the people's choice say chaso
Opoku ana osu
opoku the people of asen of omo choice yen party na Democratic Party in a Democratic Party you use democratic means and select a candidate. Now we share all the various polling station executives are more represented the teaming voters who are sent north ebe congregate wo asena comfort now omko about to also no out of enipa enuanum yenu a na omo prese ebe yimu ba kwa mane di party nanimu no omo nyina na omo sefata na so no dodo ni nyina no over 390 plus asem omo kan nyina ne se emre ayi wo mu yenu de e wo se yewra Charles Opoku ene yema ne kwan no be di party nim esan se nipa dodo a wo asen north no de omo kan nyina ne se sa nipa no sa branch no ene omo pese obe di party no be di constituency no omo man affirmation. It is not an election on 27th of this month. It is going to be an affirmation. The affirmation is the reason why Sami Jenfimu Ekikemuno. You see?
Affirmation is saying.
Affirmation. The people are going to affirm it because they ask the delegates so Monko Yira Charles Opoku.
Tell me more MPP4.
Any MPP4. The delegates are with the masses. They are from the constituency. They are from the various polling stations. So the area for Jan catch Ghana for you say elections are one of the polling stations. Of course, Supreme Court in the 2012 presidential election petition. So catch Ghana for you say, and it's on record. Say elections are one of the polling stations. The polling station for Akwakushia. Now motie omo to aba in their polling stations. Now mo see Mukoyi Yewra Charles Opoku Embra. Now Makakoyi Naba. E dey na be kire say e be about what the dindin bia. They listen to the masses. And they are going to work according to the wishes of the masses. And the masses no mosi enkofa nambra. Ampa de mo kan ye na de naba. E de na be say kwakwa election twema mentwe. There be it's going to be an affirmation. And then omo suro a omo propon the theory say on qualify or yes. Un say you say a fruit amango ebrea na ye to obo abo no won say amango bu no ye to obo no da the abre yellow na sense no ye to obo no enti say won say election enipa ye to obo na say bibi won hu ntina ye to obo no but fast forward no yenhwe the enti or ye more than qualified to contest in the election
say almost soro no compared to omo candidate or ye MP emra
then oye then
nanka or ye MP
na contempt bet you
me ba na emranti ye na efe ho or sympathy from the people if is or no a bigger threat than omo candidate
asem na o kan ye no me the gentle soul of the former member of parliament for Boko Central, Yera Adamu Dramani Sakande, may he so rest in perfect peace. You see, Yera Adamu Dramani Sakande suffered the same fate based on dual nationality or dual citizenship. Because the constitution of our country, no, I can't pay say. And so now, Obe contest Article 94, Obe contest say Obe Peri Mashibi Drakunyan. I was all your Ghana ni mapa. Now, Oye will be a William Fisher, you know, 21 years. Now, there are some constitutional requirements that you need to fulfill. Yera Sumaila Babel, at the Yera Adamu Dramani Sakande Kujina Court. Emma Court Neka say, and pass a Brad Adamu Dramani Sakande a contested election. No? Now, owe allegiance to another country apart from Ghana, and you know, unqualified. Based on that, the Supreme Court ruling set the tone. Emma High Court, no, the criminal aspect, no, and also cause my passage judgment, a convicted Yera Adamu Dramani Sakande to a prison term. You're convicted into a prison term. Emokoda prison. Yera Jatikwesen. Supreme Court ruled at the time of filing nomination to contest. No, you're qualified to contest. And you know, which means that it was illegal for him to have contested in the election of 2020. So he won illegally. Supreme Court say yes, Panjini from the record say he was never a member of parliament because at the time he contested, now the eligibility was void. Once it's void, it was not voidable. It was void. Once I hear void, not just say like there was nothing. A new hokra. That's why Supreme Court making declaration say the name should be expunged from the records.
Okay.
Again, the DNA expunged from the records. What is the sympathy out of it? Because he's not the first person that was suffered this fate. As far as our constitutional, democratic principles and ideals, Adamu Dramani Sakande suffered this same fate, in 2012. Emma called prison. The same thing. Ebimoka say, NDC vote or more, and Adamu Dramani Sakande want to take step to say obe renouncing the British nationality any at the time or parliament, not that you are British and a Ghanaian. Yet, whether he took step or whether he didn't take any step to that effect, who take his step, did your step materialize? Because the matter of citizenship, a matter of law. But what you say, offer British birth certificate here, say the fact that you have a British citizenship, does not automatically confer citizenship on you. It is the citizenship is a matter of law. It's at the time I will file a nomination. And now you say, the renunciation certificate. Say, why renunciation? And I say, the Canadian citizenship not to. I'm a Ghana the then it means that you knew. Say, now won't qualify and I'll call it.
But despite that, I'm saying that there were a lot of sympathy from the people who share.
What is the sympathy? What is the sympathy? He's not the first person to have gone through this. And they didn't catch his out to NDC party, and no more chance out to Adamu Dramani Sakande so in 2012. Emma Papa in the co-prison. Or co-prison, your man even presidential pardon, or by heart failure. At the coy. And then now, boss, I say, no. Me shame me come back to myself. Me wish in the world wherever he is because see a cast sympathy. What is the sympathy out of it? Unqualified. What do how be so qualified? Emrase unqualified. Through a year and come in for court. The trial court in Cape Coast High Court. Ebutiao per Justice Boachi ruling. Oko Court of Appeal. Ye must severally file more written submission. Court come to me file a written submission. The court threw you out. Muko Supreme Court for interpretation. The laws of our country now interpreted the provision to say that you were not qualified.
Yeah, we know that. We know that from the point of air law. But we count more North constituency. And they say you must see who a Raja question. Uti or Mukasa say or buy near why mom no.
Oh yeah, then
Well, they are saying it.
Debut.
So why your mom? Right now, you are putting up a candidate against him. He's the same person.
Where's our interview now? Be some background. Who interview NDC branch women organizers, branch with youth organizers, and the branch chairman. Comment will be the same like you are mentioning as not, and it is not reflective of the people of Asen North. Say, as assumption. But what the Americans? There are some almost also appreciative of the performance of the New Patriotic Party. Now, Danko Kufuado, the policies and programs or the Asen North are benefiting Asen North. We share the Asen Fusu, Asen Praso, a stretch of the National Trunk Road now. I asphalted now. Largely, the people of Asen North constituency benefit from that trunk of road, that road infrastructure. And look at the amount of money across that road infrastructure. Udu Asen Brikua, Koshe ultra modern AstroTurf Park, we say by the people are benefiting from. Inner town roads, rural telecommunication mast and infrastructure. Baby, hold my network in Yejuma. Ya mounted over 6 rural telecommunication infrastructure through the Ministry of Communication and Digitization. Yemame Esla Usu Ekufu. The ministry. I supported the constituency. Oko school, a 3-unit classroom block, 4-unit classroom block, 6-unit classroom blocks are scattered across the length and breadth of the constituency. A phenomenon. Apart from that, the free senior high school education is also no, and discriminatory, of which the people of Asen North are benefiting. And as far as Aban will say by, in terms of development, they can really say yes. District, Aban Yamomo district, can I say, Yamomo district. Our headquarters no Asen Breku. The Asen North district. Our governance, I get you closer to the people. Out of date, and until I almost say, Yemfa candidate in Bra because Yera NDC for any Yera get equation, I bet that down. Again, almost say Yera Charles Opoku unqualified. Could you? Yeah, not Esrio. The man yesterday say in 2016, prior to 2016 elections, Kole Klote constituency in the Greater Accra region here. NDC Echo primaries, I think there were about 3 people or so. Honorable Zaneto Ajimai Rollins, Dr. Zaneto Ajimai Rollins. Ni Amashite, one Mr. Nico Man or something. I've forgotten the other names. Echo primaries in the NDC contest. Zaneto Ajimai Rollins at the time, now only registered voter in Ghana. She was not registered, but she contested the Kole Klote constituency elections. Ebra yera ni Amashite elusu election to Madam Dr. Zaneto Ajimai Rollins. One thing one say High Court, General Jurisdiction 6 at the High Court complex. Emma and that's why they got to court in the name. Say, Dr. Zaneto Ajimai Rollins did not satisfy the requirements under Article 94(1) because she was not a registered voter at the time. And she was not qualified. At the court, the elections, saying, not only elections in him, the elections should be run because she is not a qualified candidate. Per the laws of Ghana, the constitutional provision, and the NDC guidelines on the running elections. Court now saying his Lordship Justice Kweku Akabuafo Eje, as he then was at the time. Now he's a justice of the Court of Appeal. I can say per the literal interpretation, per the literal meaning, I dare no a plain. Some pass Article 94(1). They can say you must be a registered voter. You must be someone or when you're the age of 21 and above. Now we are Ghanaian. And pass some provisions in now or you Ghanaian. What's not constituency name Eda. Any name or you must hail from the constituency. But registered voter, only registered voter. Mami Zaneto Ajimai Rollins echo the Supreme Court in the case of the Republic versus High Court Accra, ex parte Dr. Zaneto Ajimai Rollins and interested parties and the likes. Emma Supreme Court can say yes. That provision or no more clear. But I know the internal NDC friends, parliamentary primaries. And at the time, we candidate now, the candidate in Enyanko file for to contest the national election. And internal arrangements. After that, electoral commission period or they open up for new entrants who are qualified to register to be registered as voters before the elections. And Niama Ashite and the likes, say come chain Emma Mameno filing nomination with the electoral commission. Abra only registered voter there. And by then, and can the course of action, the course of action are arriving. But me who have a kind of key. Nanka position of the constitutional provision, I am matured, fairly matured. Come with me, I contest it on that basis. You can interpret to say she is not qualified. But the internal NDC parliamentary primaries in there. I don't know, and no. That is the law today. You call Kumewu by election. Obodi Abranti be by Akwesi Afrifa Amankwa and I say what was the name? The NDC candidate for the Kumewu by election. Or a registered voter, Ayawaso West Wogon constituency. No yet registered voter Kumewu. He contested the Kumewu by election on the ticket of the National Democratic Congress. Because the law allows per Article 94(1). Say you must be a registered voter, but the law is silent. Mranan Kase, you must be a registered voter in the constituency in which you are seeking to be elected as member of parliament. The constitution is silent. And when the constitution is silent, not say registered voter. In Tinipano, register or the voter role, nothing stops the person from contesting the elections. Say Abedru say it is only the Supreme Court per Article 2(1). Any person, Sami Jemfi or Popone these theories are, or ma file or more beneficiaries of this same Article 94 provisions, Enco Supreme Court to seek interpretation or per Article 2(1) and 131 of the 1992 Constitution to seek the interpretative jurisdiction of the Supreme Court and the enforcement jurisdiction of the Supreme Court. Name clarity on this same provision. Okay. I believe in the expertise and the case
with this 94 Article 94, no. Or say qualifications and eligibility. Now, subject to provisions of this article, a person shall not be qualified to be a member of parliament unless A, or a citizen of Ghana, while attaining the age of 21 years, and or a registered voter.
A registered voter.
Okay.
Constituency Bianca.
Constituency shame. B, he is resident in the constituency for which as or the constituency mu baby oposo ugina say ento na oboso aba no nkoye MP no anase watna ho for a mfe num
5 years within the last 10 years.
Yes.
Exactly.
Within the last mfe do aba no ha what a preceding election no
sure.
Anase oyobi a ofri sa constituency
Hail from the constituency.
Enti obetumi ayobi a ote ho one anase watna ho 5 years out of the past 10 years. Anase oyobi a ofri sa constituency ho.
Exactly.
Anase or say wetia ne taxes nyina anase why arrangement satisfactory say obetua sa taxes no. Or say a person shall not be qualified to be a member of parliament if or owe allegiance to another country apart from Ghana, and I say judge no, and I declare say a or a bankrupt under any law enforced in Ghana and on this charge and I discharge from that bankruptcy.
Sure.
And I say who say on najunimu en naho, and I say bia yachino as a criminal lunatic under any law enforced in Ghana. And I say, you'll be a conviction of high crime under constitution or high treason or for an offense involving the security of the state, fraud, dishonesty, or moral turpitude. Okay. And then your constitution is but can't someone also interpret say worker say it should be a registered voter no necessarily means also or you'll be talking about constituency.
You see, in constitutional interpretation, you were the various schools as far as interpretation are concerned. Those who subscribe to the literalist or the textualist approach, then we have those who subscribe to the purposive approach, or the modern purposive approach. Okay, there's an author, Ajimai Rawlings case, Amikuti, and in the case of the Republic vs. High Court, Accra, ex parte, there's an author, Ajimai Rawlings, and interested parties and the likes. Now, so that case, His Lordship Justice William Atuba, and the four. Majority are almost yeah. You say that case, it was His Lordship, the former Chief Justice, any decency because no call the pure plain meaning of the word. That's the literalist approach. Say the constitutional text there's no ambiguity in that text because or say you must be a registered voter. And Zaneto was not a registered voter in Ghana at the time. Or not a registered voter in Ghana at the time.
Okay.
But this is a person that Charles Opoku is a person who is a registered voter in Ghana. So as far as this constitutional provision here concerned, he's a registered voter. But Zaneto's case, Supreme Court adopted the modern purposive approach to statutory interpretation to say yes, there are stages as far as elections are concerned. And because she's being sponsored on the political party ticket, and the political parties mostly prepare themselves in advance before the Electoral Commission opens nominations and the likes. And the Electoral Commission who processes are that precedes the elections because one, omoye limited voter registration, omo voter exhibition any say na man answer before answer na elections no abaso per the then existing CIs enunti say sa arrangement nyina wo ho no de then the NDC did their congress qualified her because in anticipation to the fact that by then no obenya opportunity a window of opportunity if we win election now to get herself registered before and qualify herself under Article 94(1) before the elections of 2016. Mm-hmm. So the interpretation of the Supreme Court adopted the modern purposive approach. That is a living constitutionalism. Mm-hmm. So the constitution, a living organism, and it must adopt the what pertains within the environment, the environmental balance, how our environment, nature, the culture of the people, and all those arrangements, come to play as far as interpreting the constitution is concerned. It should not say, who interpret the constitution, with a plain meaning now. Mostly, it leads to absurdity. Because the law is there to regulate the conduct of the moral society. It is not there to create tensions and to create disaffections. I don't think our interpretation when clear. Even a person who was not registered voter at the time, NDC elected her. Emma, fast forward, on your opportunity to get herself registered. Court no ruling on this matter. It is sealed and it is settled. Again, the past Kumewu by election recently last month, their candidate Amankwa was not a registered voter in Kumewu. I don't know more than people registered voter to contest the elections now. Nobody raised any argument with regards to that effect. Would they say NDC, any electoral commission, a collude, and a man nipa qualify a contest election now? Per the assumption of Yera Sami Jemfi anyway. I don't think say running ma Amankwa who come and contest here, brand on registered voter, Ewo Kumewu. The same Mumbrano, Brano no so registered voter, why was so West Wogon, Ewa Greater Accra region. Adena, Yera, a Charles Opoku, or a registered voter in Ghana, or what the electoral rule of the Electoral Commission of Ghana, or you qualify under Article 94(1). Well, he is duly qualified. And I know, say, like I mentioned, say it will be an affirmation of the decision of the delegates. Well, come 27th of June 2023.
But Yenshenia Sami Jemfi and National and Democratic Congress of the Betudjano. Also, more press release on the buy on 6th June. May Jampiako, one of the part a discussion, or say it should be obvious to any educated mind that the phrase quote of the same constituency unquote contained as part 1 of the EC's own nomination form for the Asin North by-election refers to the candidate who is being nominated, proposed, seconded, and endorsed, and not the nominees. For the avoidance of doubt, the said provision reads, quote, we the undersigned registered voters in Dododo constituency do hereby nominate Dododo of the same constituency to stand for election as a member of parliament, and we hereby certify that to the best of our knowledge, he or she is qualified to be elected as such, unquote. And I'll say it is pathetic that the Jane Minsa-led Electoral Commission has followed their palpable bias to cloud their judgment and interpretation of this simple provision contained in their own document. Anyone who has a basic understanding of English language must appreciate the fact that the phrase, quote, of the same constituency, unquote, refers to the candidate being nominated. Simply put, the provision requires persons nominating a parliamentary candidate to be of the same constituency as the candidate. Where they are quoting a year, they mentioned
CI 127.
127.
CI 127. Mm-hmm. Good. Kojo. Na NDC. You see, the reason I now understand the reason why they have so much hatred against the free SHS policy. It comes to confirm the fact that Ghana for entimi kenkan. Said they can use this tactic, this communist inferior tactics, to sway the minds of Ghanaians. Kojo, in Ghana, you can't the supremacy of law. Which law is supreme? It is the Constitution per Article 11 of our Constitution. What can the laws of Ghana and Article 19 of our Article 11 of our Constitution? It's the hierarchy of laws, and the Constitution is the first law the parents' law, no. Then the Obaba Act of Parliament, you come about subsidiary legislations, which CIs, LIs, and the likes, no, It's a subsidiary to the Constitution, no. Can CI 127 no take the position of Article 94(1) of the 1992 Constitution?
But if it becomes ambiguous, it leaves room for Nkofoso to
No. The law says that okay, Article 2(1) of 1992 Constitution now, or say any person can approach the Supreme Court on matters that any law that is inconsistent with the Constitution, no. That's the Supreme Court interpret here, or striking it out as say a null and void and of no effect. It been what happened with the criminal code, no. Section 96(7). Then certain offences say unbailable, rape, treason, and murder. Some might say unbailable offence. No. The Supreme Court struck out that provision. No. In the case of People vs. Attorney General, said that provision is unconstitutional, but the court could achieve the same height, you know, judging from 96(6) and 96(5), because the court, you know, was discretion as to grant a person bail. Because that provision, you know, offense is unbailable, then discriminatory, then it means that the presumption of innocence under Article 19, you know, has been flouted, and a whole lot of provisions of the Constitution. So even if an act of Parliament could be struck down, say, unconstitutional, it's of no effect. How much more subsidiary legislation? Because it is subsidiary. Because it is not a parent's law. It is not even an act of Parliament. It is only an enactment. It is a non-statutory document. Friends say the nomination form a non-statutory document. The nomination form
contained in a regulation governing elections in this country, isn't it?
Once it's contained in the regulation governing elections now, or can people who are nominating the candidate say the people must be registered voters within the constituency. But under no circumstance they mention say the candidate being nominated must also be a registered voter within the constituency. Because the Constitution has given the constitutional requirements. And Article 94(1). So you must be a registered voter. That is one. You must be a Ghanaian. You must be someone who is 21 years old and above. You must reside in the constituency, or you resident in the constituency, or you must have resided in the constituency within the last 10 years, preceding the 5 years, preceding the elections. Having paid your taxes and all those preconditions that is required of you to get yourself elected. I don't see, say, depending meet all these conditions are. Now, just say, ask them, Moya Central for Moya Ghana BBC. Mumbisa or say, Edena, Mankwa, Omoniko, not some provisions in any ho. Omko file a Kosia Mankwa, free farm or something, Kumeuba election. Just last month, no. That's our provision of Mukutino.
Well, some say in his own words, or say a hogwash to try to, cite similar instances in previous elections.
Could you say mono Ghana for TMU? You Ghana for TMU, how impartial more discourse at here, more journalism, more election headquarters, how passionate, how neutral, more as far as the democratic dispensation of our country is concerned. It is our question is, can we be saying this before and say, now what trust our brofu way, no? Now, then I'm more somebody kumewu by election. But kind of time the economy registered voter kumewu. But because of free kumewu, you were eligible to file him there to contest the elections. Then Dr. Zaneto Ajimai Rollins in 2016 or Kolikulote. Moala no man contest say, she was not even a registered voter in your parliamentary elections. But besides our questions, we say, it will then come to confirm that the Constitution is supreme.
Okay. So, now, Sami Jemfin enya agreement saying Kayane Bekasa, but ya try line no sisi as Fantino say yesakana yene no bedin komo ya dia before answer beba no yene no enya sa agreement no say bedin ho komo enti say kenya na nka ya bisa no sense out of ne statement or no atro ye de betu dwa no about sa EC ne the candidates in Arsenal, because also Umber resisted attempt by EC to smuggle the name of the MPP's parliamentary aspirant Charles Opoku into the Arsenal by-election. And their clients on the fire and again, Emrano, per what we've read, says so you will be of you another resident one can say be also your voter. So really, what are they up to? But yensan kanu sisi asesa kana yebehwe se won sema ebia won so obisa no yebehwe ne ebisa no na yenya anoye nti that's how it is. I mean, when we get him, we'll try and ask him.
Ontimi who say because the grounds are original so nyina frivolous nti no and are on reach out. Se Sami was strong grounds are and can open can phones in anka wa charge. Check deliberate na wadum na because what file candidate last month
on doom your friend and a pair of fire or see your friend back but your friend in san kano
who say only grounds are na say our grounds no echo crash say na e den say obesan back on air aba spew this lies because Ghana for ehu to what I say sabi apart from say your lawyers or team run say your judges or interpreting they are the law lords because we share the case of Sarifin versus Samuel Sechia or say a judge who knows the law must be allowed to apply the law. And the judges have applied the law in the case of ex-parte Zaneto Rawlings. Because his lawsuit just go for the or the plain meaning of or apply the plain meaning of the text under Article 94 to affect their internal parliamentary primaries. Mame Zaneto Antony Huaseno, or Supreme Court. Supreme Court, almost reverse the trial court decision, adopted to themselves their interpretative jurisdiction, interpreted the constitution to mean say he is qualified because an internal primary and the electoral commission, a window of opportunity will be on your registered voter, your man opportunity to register before general elections. In a by-election situation, you need that opportunity. The only thing to say is the candidate cannot vote for himself because on your registered voter in the constituency,
John
to be. What I say? I don't know for Kumewu. Say, Obundi Pano Madene Koy and Amankwano, ultimately to Abani Bidia. Because he was not a registered voter in Kumewu or to about Ayawa so West Wogon constituency. And you will lose your vote. And no never see a pen interpretation. You call back to the Supreme Court to seek interpretation or to seek a declaration. And that's why my opportunity for people of this nature, no, the ground say easy never make me register or more within a by-election situation. Because and within the framework of the Electoral Commission, what timetables are or name a ad hoc. But what I say, and the Electoral Commission, yes, say by-election situation, but for some a national election, you want limited registration and the likes are a voter transfer, and it's no. We know there is nothing of that sort. You need the opportunity to transfer votes. You need the opportunity to re-register people who are not registered voters or attaining the age of majority, which is 18 years. I will say, registered voter, in the elections. I will take it upon myself to go back to the Supreme Court, to seek a declaration on that to that effect. The Supreme Court, and also make a declaration say yes, out of that situation, opportunity must be given to such people, because it is their right to participate in the decision to elect a candidate within the constituency. Because he would move on more. They have attained the age of majority. Among 18 years. They are qualified from 27, before 27, they are qualified. But there is no window of opportunity for them. Because the Electoral Commission, but a general election, and I will volunteer to go back to the Supreme Court, the law lords, to seek interpretation as far as Article 2.1 and 131 of the Constitution is concerned. Niakre said, if there will be some declarations, to further give clarity to the to the portion of the Constitution. Now, this place now be settled because in the case of the ex-parties and network case, Article 94 is clearly settled. It is clearly settled. The only thing, they did not envisage at the time issues of by-election. So now that issues of by-election, registration, voter transfer, I, Kanshira Fuakwa, will go back to the Supreme Court to seek declarations and enforcement with regards to that, because he who goes, he who wish, equity,
must come with
you must do
hands.
Equity. Not even come with clean hands. You must do equity.
That's how it is.
Yes, you must do
That means I say, well, equity and come with clean hands.
It's one of the principles. He who goes with equity must come with clean hands. Yeah, well, if you want equity, you must do equity.
Oh, okay. So if you want equity, you must do equity.
Exactly.
And he who
goes to equity must go with clean hands.
Oh, okay.
There are several principles underlying that. Okay. And once we are seeking equity, we must do equity. And equitable remedy, as part of the equitable remedy in ESA, if I have attained the age of majority before a by-election, I should have the opportunity of voting, to be registered as a voter and exercise my franchise. It's our opportunity, no more. And So being also a person transferring the vote during a by-election situation, the person must be allowed because in general elections, those provisions and those establishments or underpinnings for people to transfer their votes, for people to get themselves registered and participate in the democratic principles, which is the election of candidates are representing their interest and their well-being within the House of Parliament. Election was so.
Interesting. So that's how Afakwa Eputu no say there NDC for no any ground to challenge the ability of MPP4 and the grounds of MPP4 candidate no too. So obejina say Antonio Swaba ewo asen of by election nti ye need that kwan say in this election enya there or no Charles Opoku no beto bi because onye registered voter.
Onye registered don't mean to be
obehwa ase beto ama no.
Absolutely.
So ofi ho. But onye voter.
Onye voter.
Emra no so emra
no.
Say memma no ngina say Antonio Swaba. Interesting. Yade a na ye need that kwan say ora Anthony Nukpenu Baba cancer our studio ha but yenim say bia onam kwan so ba na emom ora samejemfi ena yensa enka no but emrase ne yesi akan move from article 94 ora afọ akwanso aside the ruling of the Supreme Court in the
Zanato Rollins.
The title well.
The Republic versus High Court.
Okay.
Ex parte
Zanato
Dr. Zanato Rollins.
So, OSHA Article 94 on the qualifications and eligibility of Obia, obetumi ejina say Antonio Swaba as a member of Parliament, no. And no, from where we say it, ye name where it means. It says when you're a voter in a constituency, untumi enjina, but. Lawyer Samijemfi is also a legal brain. I'm sure say Zanka Yensaka and Konosu betumi advancing the argument say per Article 94. But again, on the statement was not citing 94 per se. On the statement was on the CI 127,
which is a subsidiary legislation.
That's on.
And also mentioned candidates.
But again, even the Electoral Commission so at the statement be at the or say RE eligibility of qualified MPP parliamentary aspirant in the Asenov by-election. Abetedja and Electoral Commissioner say NDC for the statement media ba National Communication Officer Ned by or say commission no on the previous response to the NDC Communication Officer no can say per Article 94 of the 1992 Constitution no obi qualifies obejina as candidate for parliamentary election. Wabra oye so long as he is a registered voter as oyobia or tuaba organa ha ye at least when you're 21 years of age or free and not ote and maybe a watna constituency for a total of 5 years in the last 10 years preceding the election or no agency Antonio Swabano or see way the position of the 1992 Constitution the fundamental law Ghana ha or say the National Communication Officer of the NDC, or Ninsem Kamono, can say, EC, Ejina 92 Constitution, no more, Eddie make case, say, Enise Obi, or your registered voter, our constituency, and Sana, where Janasi Antonio Swaba, or say Communication Officer, no, can say, EC, or so, Motumi, Ejina CI 127, so, and now, Titinipon the nomination form a CI 127 no and son mutumi HC Jina say nipa no ni so ye registered voter in a constituency one son wetumi agina na o say Samejemfi say obetumi aka nsem ni yie no esan gina phrase am candidate say of the same constituency so on the same parliamentary nomination form no extra say candidate for parliamentary election no also be obi a or registered constituency ho opese to so aba no and sana wetumi agina and I'll say for the benefit of the public nomination form no ekase and my kind that clearly I'll say ne aka wo soro ya twem no nomination form no ekire say omo yi nipa ne so mbegina parliamentary election constituency ho no and also omo registered voters in the same constituency nemum enye candidate na ye nominating so ombegina no or say candidate no ade also oyo obi a ofri eho ana watna constituency no na ama watumi enya ho kwan na wagina se yenton so aba e constituency wo o se obi be kire sansem ne mu se e wo nomination ya ka nomination form no so e ma ne kire se e wo se candidate no e registered voter e wo same constituency no eno no enya e ade a ebebro adwen so enya de to asom enye logical na eno so unconstitutional to borrow some words of Sammy James. In some way, and I easy the way to just say, Uti omunsa mokani na enya dia also nipano in the case of Charles Opokono enya dia also necessarily or to about Asem North answer what to me ejina. So then
propaganda not to assume. Propaganda not to assume.
Into office or court
there's no way that provision, you know. It cannot override the supremacy of Article 94(1). It is really inconsistent.
Okay.
And impliedly, you see, when construing, friend is saying, statutory provisions and even non-statutory provisions, you know, you must seek the intention of the framework of the draftman. And Parliament, our pass CI, you know, or mistake. So I'm mention people who should be registered voters within their constituency. And i.e., I'm mention say. Should be registered voters. The reason is that you obey me hailing from the constituency, but maybe now a contribution towards the constituency. Who said you man obedi omonima because elections and elections have consequences. The reason elections have consequences is you have 4 years and suddenly what me go back. Ako two full for say be yempel and answer yempel. And no name say mo nominating no. You must be registered voters within the constituency. But nipa no there. I also satisfy the constitutional provisions or registered voter in Ghana. Now or resident or hailing from the constituency. Now above the age of 21 years. And the man here qualify or Ghana ni. Ye get question na and most say I listen to the legal team of the NDC. Almost say they are taking a calculated risk. You see, calculated risk to mean say he can go to prison. I'm choosing my words carefully. He can go to prison. The reason is that Supreme Court interpreted the provision to mean say one, not yet qualify the time I was key to contest the parliamentary elections in 2020. Now you mean say the doctrine of binding precedent. Juma in our jurisprudence. Now Supreme Court was supervisory jurisdiction over all lower courts in Ghana. No? Supreme Court decision, is guiding the High Court. Okay. The criminal trial ongoing. Mr. Jesukwesi is standing trial on, I think, 4 or 5 counts.
Okay.
Deceit of public officer, perjury, and the likes. I bet we not go jail for 10 years. That's also calculated risks.
Lawyer Abraham Amaliba, in charge of legal affairs for the NDC. Lawyer Mpacho Marching. Lawyer Marchio, na mo akwa ban from Brad Jumadi so. Me hoye. Lawyer, ye hwe nsem we abetodwa ya. Mo former MP for Tamale Central, Inusa Fuseni ye da atodwa se enya de a eye nsem a party ne de abetodwa Sammy James nsem de abetodwa se ECAAD the MPP candidate no ne kre. Mo party for no bi so aka se position we no enye party na nkasa ne position ya de a the national communication officer no as a lawyer no so no de na dwen kire tudwa party na nkasa ne position on this matter ne ohin. Hello lawyer Mpacho Timenka.
Ola pass my question.
Na me bisa say as the head of legal affairs for the NDC party na nkasa ne position on this matter ne ohin.
Uti near Sammy James editorial journal. Was the intelligence said NPP candidate now actually before then no. Only EC4 were trying to get him on the register. That is the accusation. And Obia on intelligence, you don't have to wait for that to happen before you put it out. So I think that the Sabije here was a preemptive action. Nanka one fan trigger and it was going to happen at Nanka. So by putting it out there, no, Nanka easy ever yes answer. Easy will now know that people are watching, and so it won't happen. So clearly, no, it's about Charles Pokuna, 1 year later voter in a same north, no, who wanted or the intelligence indicated said, yeah, ever come home so that he can vote. That is the issue about this thing. That's all. I'm sure I'll be able to summarize it for you.
No, but in one breath of that statement, Sami Jemfie portrays Papano should necessarily also you be a registered voter in the constituency, because according to CI 127, no, those nominating him on the form, according to Onankasani statement, no, should be of the same constituency, meaning the aspirant, no, or you'll be a registered voter of the same constituency. Is that the same understanding of the party?
The constitution is clear as to who can contest as a member of parliament. 21 years, Ghanaian, and then you must be a registered voter. So those are the criteria. Now, is he a registered voter? Yes. Is he about 21 years? And I said Ghanaian, for now we say yes, because later on things can come up. But Usha statutory declaration now, EC Emma Nkofo sign no. And at that point, Sami Jemfie is right. Statutory declaration no. EC for they've not designed the statutory declaration in such a way that it will be in consonance with the Constitution. Because the statutory declaration I say, Omoa nominate, and I say, yeah, nomination. I don't have my thing here, but I can just paraphrase. Omoa nomination must come from the constituency. Must be people from that constituency. And also registered voters in that constituency. And also Omoa, Nipaprana, Yaba nominated in the case of Charles Pokunuso, should be a registered voter in the constituency. Now, if there's a conflict between the Constitution and the lesser law, the lesser law must give way. In other words, the Constitution would supersede the lesser law. Because Constitution, ebro, a strong thing, so the problem is not from Sami Jemfie. The problem is the way the EC designing, your friend said, statutory declaration. Where it says that Omoambe ever nominated no must register voters in the constituency. And the Papua ever nominated no, as in this case, Charles Poko, should also be registered in the constituency. But when you look at it, that statutory declaration is against the Constitution. Constitution and Catholic Patrono must come from a particular constituency as a registered voter. Constitution says you must be a registered voter. Simplicity, that's all.
But lawyer, my main kind be a statutory declaration na boy na yentiase. I say, quote, we the undersigned registered voters in Dododo constituency do hereby nominate of the same constituency to stand for election as a member of parliament, and we hereby certify that to the best of our knowledge, he or she is qualified to be elected as such. The registered voter here refer to the undersigned. Say, baby, nominated the person to contest. Now, man, as a registered voter. So, really, where is the registered voter coming in from? Anna? I say, we, the undersigned registered voters in this case, Asen North constituency, do hereby nominate of the same constituency to stand for election as a member of parliament, and we hereby certify that to the best of our knowledge, he or she is qualified to be elected as such, unquote.
Okay, so of the same constituency,
yeah,
Charles Poko, is he registered in that constituency? No, but he is qualified because he hails from the Anna.
Exactly. Yes.
And so India, he has
stayed there
or resided there for the past 5 years of the last 10 years. Yes, sir. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, lawyer.
So the qualification, is not coming from being a registered voter. The qualification is coming from the fact that we're a person who hails from the constituency, maybe our freedom, and I said, what's in our for the past 5 years. So that's what I'm saying, that the confusion was coming from the way it was drafted.
Okay.
But the qualification is under the Constitution, and from that point, he's qualified. But the way to think, this one is drafted, and then the confusion, and that's where Sammy James was coming from.
Okay. So going forward, what suggestion to cure this?
To make that statute declaration very clear, confusion,
Okay.
That's what brought the confusion. But the qualification was under the Constitution, which he's qualified. The only problem is that he cannot vote there. He's not a member. He's not in that register. He can't vote.
Okay. All right. So that point was really Sammy James' point of view, not the parties, Meboa.
Oh, that is a position. He's a party member. He's a member of the party. So definitely, when he says something, people think, after they will tie it to the party.
That is the Nkofo tie no, but no jina Nkofo bet me aka so party no say no much rana because you have explained it in a certain way. Sammy James also says it in a certain way. That's why we are asking, say, it is our point was really Sammy James' point of view, not the parties. Meboa.
You can say so. And that because it's also an official of the party, clearly they will attach the party to it.
Okay. Lawyer Maliban Pacho, may that's a for Omra Wenya Ediamaya here on this particular subject. Lawyer Abraham Amaliba, the head of legal affairs for the NDC, and out is or church one. So I say, share Papanadia qualification there according to the constitution. Emrano and Amrapono or qualify say Obejanasi and Tonswa or Asen North constituency. That brings the matter to an end really. Oguswa share na watch Jumedi or Adom TV, Utio Radio so higher Asempa 94.7 FM. Yenko ye second subject and so na yenko share and so senior and some to me ako from pom what RS say which hand and I say idea ehia ye be try ye ho na ya ba ye ba ye de no so ni pensem no ye de bebro ora Emmanuel Wilson ono CEO for Ghana Crusaders Against Corruption obedwa ne via Zoom ne edi sansemi ho nkomo ono yentina ye ba sisia Abio Enframra na watch Jumedi so as Adom TV OTSO radio so Asempa 94.7 FM yene ora Enoch Afuakwa MPP communications team member ewo studio ha already yedin komo about the Asen North by election eba so yenko Professor Frimpong Boateng any OSP sensem no so na watch we be beto dwa se enam Jumedi a Enkano committee be a president inaugurated yes nkamuntumi enkuntia galamsey and efrano interministerial committee on illegal mining omodwumedi omodi ye ni sika bi abande mo hun sensem no or say to me or say OSP hwe no hwehwem because there's an allegation of corruption oh baby na no mu na ebeto dwa se Professor Frimpong Boateng enche biara na report out tro edekoma the chief of staff ebeto dwa no there OSP friend no yenyina yegitu mu se sa report no ba ye no OSP friend mo do betu dwa se ade a one omo be ye adwuma obekọ na ode ne nsam onim de ebe akoto omo anim na no na wotwe ya mo betu dwa se o ade OSP kra ene na din komo aye ne pensempese mo omo ache na ma ne bail eno mo no nsentrofo ene ne din komo bebre odo tu dwa se onno no ohwe ne wodie mu a ade a obi na ehihye akire a opese ogu nanimu ase that's omo we chante no e ebisa question say ade a ohwe mu a obi witch ante no na se na eho hia se o se omutumi eche no eno ene yeba bedi enkomo ho anepay na Enoch Afuakwa eda so ewo ha na momenko eye Zoom so na me Emmanuel Wilson Jr. CEO for Ghana Crusaders Against Corruption meneno enkodi nkomo Robert Macho na ma akwa bade ba na watwe dwumade so ewa Dom TV.
Yeah, minya. Pacho mo to say.
Yeah, ho ye papa. Na yenhwe ne ebeto odwae wo teye no wo fa ne sen.
Me da say ma minchia minyot ona wote program na se no. Na menka say embra this information beto odwa no. Anya yen wanwa. Ne wanwa anya yen no is simply because debia meka say because of where we sit any ejuma aye no. To debia we are able to get certain information a check and sana about we do public domain. Abra focus me be friend of privileged information.
Okay.
Somewhere about 2 months ago, and in information, especially from the Office of the Special Prosecutor, say BBC BBC regarding Professor Frimpong Boateng. It is a share your Facebook page, and I'm a personal Facebook worker. Me preemptive say BBC BBC. I'm a caution Professor Frimpong Boateng through the page. Say on watching it back. Now on embracing because something of this sort is about to take place. Inti Ubisa say send a ban fire. We are not surprised because now you name data. Say BBC, BBC. Now Pamno Chamno, Nina has a basis, and the basis is what you've tried to put together. A statifi Professor Frimpong Boateng reports on Galamsey matters or submitting the presidents. Na enumu ana edum pempen subia some portions came out to the public domain. Some individuals believe say the leakage not came through Professor Frimpong Boateng. Na normal omo afemu they were not so happy with it. And you know what even became worse is the fact that after leakage nearby Professor Frimpong Boateng has attempted to talk on some portions of it in the public domain, confirming say what the report. And so such a thing really some individuals in certain high places, especially from the executive side, not to be so happy with it. And Omu decided they said they will do everything possible to ensure. So going forward, Professor Frimpong Boateng does not talk again. Now, Moamo sister station, Joy, I think 2 days ago or so, Professor Frimpong Boateng, in his interview with one of my colleagues, confirming most of these things that I am talking about. To the extent that people are putting pressure on him to keep quiet and all that. And as I said, it's simply because of the reporter, Ebebe Togana. Unfortunately, they've done everything possible, but Professor Frimpong Boateng is still talking, and he seems to be aggrieved. And they have no option than to bring in state institutions such as the Office of the Special Prosecutor to more or less find a way of distracting him and causing him to keep quiet and to live in a certain level of fear and panic. Into Bisamia, I mean, it wasn't really a surprising thing. But having said this, if you want us to go into the details,
I'll let us come into the details. But from Niawakano express Ebimo use the Office of the Special Prosecutor to harass Professor Frimpong Boateng, right?
From all indication, that is what it strongly suggests. Particularly when me juxtapose, as I said, the information I hear about 2 or so months ago to what is being unfolded. Indeed, Professor Frimpong Boateng is someone we haven't even had the opportunity to even have a conversation with. But Andre said Mekano would see on one or no, even within his own political party, Precious and Crawford to the Sony idea. Eshemukina strongly say information in Intel 2 months ago. No, everything about that information is accurate. And to see also there, and what we can say is clearly people are now the executive use OSP's office to intimidate Professor Frimpong Boateng. But you bet me so aka on authority. Say if this intimidation fails, now Frimpong Boateng still goes on to be talking here there. There's going to be another activation from the executive, and that one will be a bit more serious than even what Frimpong Boateng experienced with the Office of the Special Prosecutor.
But the OSP, per the law, who can say or be investigated. Now, what prosecuting specific cases of alleged or suspected corruption and corruption-related offences in the public and private sectors, recovering the proceeds of such act by disgorging illicit and unexplained wealth and taking steps to prevent corruption. One jin tum se senia OSP ankasa de nsema betu dwa se enam dwumedia the IMCIM edi ye any scam de mom nonsense sema aba na excavators omo je gold nugget omo ko fire omo hu bebi afa any drones omo toye eno hu nti na OSP investigate papa no. But in your own words, some element within the executive use that office created by law to intimidate someone.
I am quite unfortunate. As I'm kind of if you be legally, that is what the Office of the Special Prosecutor, Yamani mandate, say onye. But you see, in law, there's a maxim that says justice must not only be done, but it must also be seen to be done. In other words, and yes, I may call courts and I say may apply law, no, the end results, no, and on planning here. But the process involved, I mean, they do the end results. And also a very, 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 very important. Okay. OSP Nankasa ni post chanini behavior. It casts a lot of doubt on Ejuma or no legally he has been mandated to engage in. In the process near okay, there wouldn't be any problem. First off, this report, because I want to dwell on the report a bit more. Report a bit okay, and the leakages part of the report a bit okay. It's clearly said, a sense signal said there are individuals are engaging in illegalities, of which it falls under the mandate of the special prosecutor to investigate. Question I give is say, then abisi ene. That report never told Jana, special prosecutor into one amobia by inviting any of those individuals Yabubo Mudin our reporting for investigation to take place. That is the first one. Secondly, then Anna Professor Frimpong Boateng was one invited. Na say you can't see you invite to Bia. We are just inviting you for a conversation. It is totally different from being arrested. Arrest, simply means you won't subi. And nothing as a policeman of you know, you are under arrest. Who for what offense? Because arrest does not take place in a vacuum. It takes place on a basis. You must offend the law one way or the other before arrest can take place. And to say you invite and that is why invite you are ensure kitten say Obibano Kasi invite to I don't stress it in that moment. Oh, who can say never at my time. Because it's just an invite. First off, say special prosecutor will engineer Subi for which he want to effect an investigation. He wouldn't have done an invitation, he would have done an arrest.
Okay.
Secondly, when he decided say or invite Obino, through the invitation, it ended up becoming an arrest. In other words, the reason why a special prosecutor invited Frimpong Boateng was to have a conversation. Not just as at that moment, not special prosecutor, because I'm not owning any offense for which Obabesa investigation. And unti brana yindi nkomo. Na yindi nkomo na wa kasemuno. Oka bibia na mijina no so akasema arrest. That is not how proceedings are supposed to be done in a criminal case and a criminal related offenses. That is if there are any offenses. ABM, why is it that special prosecutor and bra or invited Professor Frimpong Boateng or say my arrest coming from Professor Frimpong Boateng's own words? Say the reason that Frimpong Boateng said them can you can't arrest why you have the right to ask. I didn't know I arrest me. Frimpong Boateng besides said didn't know I arrest me. And special prosecutors' ground was that we are per se investigation into your activities as the head of the interministerial committee. I mean, that cannot amount to an arrest. If we have investigation into Mechuma Amiyeye, and you say specifically where you say during your tenure, internal investigation, but your investigation based on Otena, Ejuma Oyeye. And based on that, you are under arrest and now you've been arrested. It casts a lot of doubt on the process. It casts a lot of doubt on the process. And special prosecutor, anyone can tap him and on no bit me at that sorry. Or sorry, no akas you man wasn't Brani Indian Komo. Now I say okay, me do why I was my arrest for what? For a Juma Oye as chief crusader for Crusaders Against Corruption. I mean, when you do this, you are cheapening and I will reduce that state institution. It is say will reduce that GD. Now the very moment majority and now people lose confidence in any state institution, it becomes a disaster for all of us as a mind because institutions let's say a building in a neighbor home. My use institutions anyhow we want, just because we are being told to use it. Okay.
Maybe say last question wait, then I'll come back to the studio. Now, if you look at OSP the mandate now, I'll say one to investigate and prosecute on its own corruption and corruption-related offenses, including one, dishonestly receiving property, where a person receives, buys, or assists in the disposal of property which the person knows has been obtained or appropriated by a crime without intending to return the property to the owner. Extortion, where a person obtains property from another person by means of threat of libel or slander, the threat of prosecution for an offense, threat of detention, and any other form of threat not involving assault or harm to the person threatened. 3, using public office for profit, where a public officer corruptly or dishonestly abuses his or her office for private gain, or where a private person acts in collaboration with a private public officer for the public officer to corruptly or dishonestly abuse his or her office for private gain. Now, another point to be a bit related to this whole discussion, there's public procurement offenses, where a person enters or attempts to enter into a collusive agreement or influences the procurement process to obtain an unfair advantage or alters procurement document to influence the outcome or request for unpermitted clarification. Existent offenses arising out of a consequent upon the above offenses. This may be in the nature of. Now, yenim say abrana or IMCM no omoto drones. The abetuja. Yenim say omusizi excavators. Yehu baby ebiafa. Aren't these grounds for the OSP to then invite and possibly even arrest? Omufi said there is grounds for a arrester, and not necessarily because someone wants to harass Professor Frimpong Boateng.
Very legitimate grounds, and no one is going to dispute or fight that. Mind you, Crusaders Against Corruption, with this our position, we are not saying in any way, say, Professor Frimpong Boateng, say it is alleged say he's involved in any illegality, we are going forward to support him. No, that's not it. Yeah, you believe in it, say whatever must be done, the process must be done in a way and manner in which a day fairness, transparency, any confidence beba into the state institutions so that the end result we now will embrace it. As it is fantastic. It is grounded in law. But question bisa, which still hasn't been answered. And he said, on what grounds was Professor Frimpong Boateng arrested?
Okay.
Because if indeed, Asamoah drones near if they were the grounds for which investigation needs to be commenced, that would have been the grounds, first and foremost, no. Professor Frimpong Boateng, you be issue warrant to arrest him, and I be calling him arrest him. But you don't invite a person when you yourself who need engineer subia, and then later turn the invitation into an arrest. And still, even when Okas were arresting a crown, went to me, it is specific. And okay, drones for abusing your office and until they arrested. And maybe who use your office to issue illegal permits and as a license to individuals someone qualified and until they arrested. There wasn't any grounds for this.
Okay, all right, you. But still stay with me because I think that the OSP mentioned some things, reasons why they are investigating for Frimpong Boateng. Well, Anthony Nukpenu, the NDC organizer for Greater Accra Region, Ababe Cancer. Chairman, be able to there. Code natural. Okay, all right. Enoch, my main phone shares here. So, we'll share what has happened. I mean, the OSP had said one of the major issues that the OSP is investigating is the monetary allocation of over 300 million cedis to IMCIM to fight Galamsey. He's been asked to account for that, but okay, before I come to him, say I've had a lot of chat with you. Mamema Nukpenu Embrem here. So Nukpenu, there's been some 300 million cedis budgetary allocation to the IMCIM. Of course, his chairman also Oba accounted for excavators of CZ doing the IMCIM. And also number no contradictory kakra. I will say omotumi what the issues are. Good nuggets be a CZ doing the operations, you know, and also a one sense cars and other equipment are omotumi a toy like drones, for example. Can't we say these are enough grounds in tier OSP say chairman Ombrambe Chema Echo by say omutumi arrested on.
You mean that's nama chia eti for na hwefo nyina na me chia so ama. The first one is to say now say my small ambassador for environment.
Okay.
Mesre omo amuti flood prone areas ni maybe ansuo ta yiri fa no. And the said me the two be him say insuring the way no obi an pep baby so very locating no because afi en pese e bit the perennial flooding of afan krofu ewu na dani news then every time Ghana's image is being dented as you say ye dey say be endwin say aban no ntimi nye ne say ye ma insuring yiri fa ni paso wo so a wo ti ho no wa said dey say memfa ho embo afore say insuring mefa ho kona and Danny news. Intimacy obia. The other aspect is quantum post baby na adane say manhole say woman hole the various directors of our roads etina say ehwe han say gi say obrimpombi e na be fa ho be wu ansa na be dane asem no eno so ya dia e say niko ho enti every time no minya kwenya say miss the distrediema Ghana Highway Authority director Urban Roads Director. Say, Minister of Roads no. Maintenance of our road is not a job of the minister. But most of the time, we bought the political head. But a foul said the technocrat of the ministry or the various agency. And if a highway is deteriorating, we said there is a maintenance culture, it is embedded in you. To anamo, then making sure say nipan kwa ube save done to make sure say nipa bewu. Today, all our highways, there are serious gullies. Enye se woho. But then, intimisre, sanya mano, di enya okroma. Yentu anamo, as rational people are, yedi asedia maya, yetu ekano, we should be proactive, we should be pragmatic than sitting down to commit havoc to the citizens. Bien, if you are, all these issues, no, then deja at this very moment. Because I believe, say, during the first term of even Akufo-Addo, these issues arose. I didn't think I had this boy about the chairman of the IMC. There was a time, it is a arrest of the excavators, they were under the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, Emrana Peter Mewuo. So he was leading this fight. He was even speaking on these issues. All those times, Yanti, Professor Frimpong Boateng, talk about excavators and whatever.
But the numbers, in terms of say, we do so much 500. The numbers were changed.
And I see the minister now over the forefront of the seizure of excavator was Ameuden.
Okay.
And they fear Ameusun a bar Amea Chireme. And Abu. Why is Frimpong Boateng being hounded because he was hounded because he was the chairman? Fine. OFC.
But to help you, I'm going to just say people like the former Central Regional Second Vice Chairman, Ekowusi, has also been invited. There's a journalist we're told.
So
several other
when you know because of certain conversation about a recording between Frimpong Boateng, Ekowusi, Party Hiansika, those things. So OSP per se, you should be unravel certain mysteries and arrive at a certain destination. It is good. But ma didn't quite say because Frimpong Boateng the report or yedi ma mampenyi emra on hand over. Ayanti hu asema till this time or the ma media ebeye nsem ebi mu hu abem especially Oraga bi ochida ku hu be mu nti ye tu anamo bi to make sure say ye temi ye shoulder. Then the office of the OSP will be in doubt. But I support the move. Okay. Say you two and I want to fight a canker. Now say during that time, you see Akudie and I say Akadia na yedi disa Bonino Ghana, especially excavator. 2. Omo anomu were in the possession of illegal ornaments and minerals, gold. Yes, easy. Omo anomu kita illegal weapons. Yes, easy. Sikebi mwa ye allocate ye for ejumano intimi nye proper accounting na. It is the taxpayers' money. Someone must speak to it. Account for how you utilize this money. Sa gold na moji ye no. Inventory men na mo take ye. Who was it handed to? Where is it? It must be accounted for. Nkrofu emoja ena omudi ko pay sika editor excavators. And this is what year. Now the two baby na say bia yira. You should be speaking to it. How did it end that way? There is no problem to it. The cordiality and the collaboration between the OSP's office, Frimpong Boateng, and all who matters, no, it is key. But I think I do have a news because there was a certain statement of an arrest. What were they arresting him for? So, was he charged? Per invitation, has he been charged for him to be arrested and given self-recognizance bail? But Wakasa said he has not signed any self-recognizance bill. Until Unimnia Air Kosu and Ramitien or sister station Metro TV. Until I don't know the conflicting statement. Until I believe said.
But he himself, Akasane, he was arrested and given a bail.
A bail.
Because
Yes.
Adam for be crying or around and
So charges been Ediabon before he was arrested. So the OSP's office is he by now says I invite you say he arrest you name out bail and sana. Is he now an office of the criminal investigation department?
The education from a lawyer or just a the law, they have the power to do that. So if you're a person of interest, no officer there.
So if they really have a law to embark on that aspect, the question and answer near air bogo in a agree say Brabeyi in Sembiano Uduwa, is it enough ground for an arrest? If it's so, if things are working on that line, it will be gagging people to not come out with certain things they know. Because Semikoka, na say you the substantiating, na say me do want to be arrested. And they mean kakra mi yeko and also the information ebete ukroma. And the entry was na anamontuno and koso wano. Na nyina yentimi hu kura wom. Esan say aban yi nyama bebre na foreign no. Engu aban ne kaka anim aso, egu Ghana anim ase. And we are all involved. We all need to have a stake in making sure the image of Ghana is uplifted beyond what we have today.
Oraf Afakwa.
Yeah.
You better need me answer the question of whether the arrest was necessary and answer a witch hunt in Ekoso.
Me that's it. Let me say good morning to my senior brother, Anthony Nupin. I think by and large he has spoken well. Okay, issue but say now say politicized issue now. And say the independent investigative bodies no and one will go into the matter. You see, some of these things, you lampe among your phone and say you might think say be point your fingers at somebody, but power is transient. Fourth Republic NDC about power, NPP about power, but Ekoba say yachi will be na say the motive behind and I said the mischief behind it is interpreted to say you're chanting. Then certainly obi any horn say you're arrested because say you arrested any person of certain stature in society be na say you terminate as witch hunting. Now we could do breeze yachiwa and no there. Oh there because all you ordinary citizen no. Nobody fights for you, nobody raises issues against your arrest and the likes are. Then certainly we are creating a semblance of a class society. There wouldn't be equality. And no emboa. And you see, one of the factors are a breedy conflict. What we call the frustration aggression theory. When people become frustrated, it breeds conflict. And when people say we are creating a class society, Anthony Nupenu it's not email for arrest. Ultimately, Anthony Nupenu because he is the regional organizer. He's untouchable. Ultimately, because he's a member of the national communication team or he's a member of the government spokesperson or something. And ultimately, the moment you touch me now, I don't know, issues will be raised there. Then certainly, our democratic ideals, I say a rule of law, and the government of mine. The ordinary people now, by and large, every day, or we hear from so criminal police action, ordinary driver on the street, your chiwe, your domo court, your fine be, your convict be to prison custody near the end. They will see, say yes. Then there is a class because once you belong to this class of people, then it means you are above the law. To settle this matter, the Office of the Special Prosecutor Act, Act 959, Emma a broad powers of the Office of the Special Prosecutor. I'll share Section 4 of the Act now. That states the mandate of the Office of the Special Prosecutor. And what is of interest is that the office was set up to investigate corruption and corruption-related offenses solely. And prosecutorial powers of the state, constitutionally, it is charged with the Office of the Attorney General. And we all know the Office of the Attorney General say it is a semblance of the executive. And it is prosecutorial powers, that's essential executive now to then you can then tend to say, one, they may use that powers against people who are against the ruling class or the executive. But this is an Office of Special Prosecutor, by and large, by virtue of our constitutional arrangement. You say an independent body. We all know, say at least because a part of the Attorney General's powers, and a winning this office now. Okay, Section 28 of the same Act now. That office has been given the powers of the police. And the powers of the police are to arrest and to detain and to investigate. And so the amount of the powers of the police to arrest, to detain and to investigate or more than even the powers to search. Any idea? You so, because police for to me power. And that is why in Africa, government being home person winning away the powers of the police at the money autonomous. Anthony Betema said they have enormous powers. Open the most powerful people on this land is the Ghana Police Service. Because they have the power to arrest on mere suspicion. That is per the act. On mere suspicion. Whether you have committed a crime, or a crime is about to be committed, or they suspect you to having an intent to commit a crime. That's the power of the arrest. And then see, police be general no afraid, bra. No catch us arrest you. It's just that he can just arrest you. Just that. That is the power of arrest of the police. Mere suspicion.
But you need to tell me.
He will tell you. He will tell you. Or suspected someone could commit offense. And that in that state, he needs to investigate. Are you getting it? That is the reasonable powers of the police, the enormous powers of the police. And a politician should say, when the powers are granted the police, enormously, no more autonomous, IGP, ABI, say the commissioners, they elect among themselves and they have security of tenure and their lives. Hey,
you can arrest the number one.
You can even arrest the number one. That's why the constitutional provisions. They have enormous powers. It is the office of the special prosecutor. No, once section 28 of Act 959, no, among that enormous powers of the police. No, it means that they can also arrest on mere suspicion. And judging from Professor from Paul Boateng Kase Okoye, no, he was invited. Yes, you can be invited to assist in investigation. But na so more evidence be and na so more some grounds be to arrest and investigate you. You be arrested. And mind you, in the case of Peru versus Attorney General, no, you see all offenses are bailable, subject to section 96.5 and 96.6. And when he was arrested, no, Wamayati said he was granted bail to the sum of the bail bond was 2 million Ghana cedis. That is due process. At least what I am happy about, and he said he never put out a statement that his human rights were breached. But at the end, he said he was arrested. That thing, the communication, the narrative, the arrest aspect of it. And like you mentioned, so, it's out there that he's been investigated on a 300 million Ghana CD plus funding budget the Interministerial Committee on Illegal Mining. Some excavators it has become topical national issues. And gold nuggets and other
vehicles and drones
and the likes. And all this come to play now. The principle of ultimate responsibility. He was the chairman of the Interministerial Committee on Illegal Mining. I read that his secretary, Charles Bisiu, also known as a special prosecutor, a warrant from the court for his arrest.
Yeah.
Why was he not invited? Why was he not arrested? But a warrant for his arrest has been issued
because
against
he's
him.
challenging the OSP's capacity to investigate him.
So it means
because I'll say during the time of Martin Amedu, Anas lawyer then was Kisi Ejabi. And therefore, when you had written the letter to the OSP to investigate him, and now you are the OSP, he can't trust you. And you lawyers know that. Most of them be the laws of natural justice.
The rule of natural justice.
You cannot then be a referee.
The legal practice is regulated by LI 2423.
Okay.
And per LI 2423, you need to do a conflict check. The Office of Special Prosecutor is not about Kisi Ejabi. You are aware. It is not about Kisi Ejabi. Even in a firm of lawyers, a multimedia a law firm. Now say Anton Lupenu, I represent you in a case. Now a case has come before the chamber. Now I may handle that matter now without any influence from Anton Lupenu. Conflict, independently per rule 47 of LI 2423 now. If I'm working independently, there is no conflict. Although say a member of the chamber has represented maybe another party in that dispute, conflict in emblem.
So if you are tying, this is the head himself, isn't it?
It is an office, the office of the special prosecutor, the office. It is not
of Kisi Ejabi.
It is not office
anyway,
of Kisi Ejabi.
They are in court.
Absolutely.
To challenge that.
You look at all these matters now, and certain names that you read and mentioned that they have been invited or they have been arrested or any other thing now. It shows that the special prosecutor is doing a good job. I am praying, say at the end of it all, one, the interest of the state to be paramount. We will protect the public purse. Monies are, if we say, it's not benefit the state, that's a wrong hands. We should be able to have the opportunity of retrieving it for the benefit of the state because mining here. certain because obi here illegality. No akwaje the machine. Na the machine na waje no so illegality. Na sa machine no. And so am famra kwan so na say akodi baby and na say a free baby a. And so amount to illegality. You can't solve illegality with illegality. And all these matters now must be looked at. It is not the person of Professor Frimpong Boateng, but it is about the office or the committee that was tasked
accounting for the stewardship.
To account for their stewardship. Yeah. And it is not his person. A lot more people are getting involved in this matter. But as the head, as the law says that the principle of ultimate responsibility lies with the head. No? Certainly he must give a statement. Certainly he must lead the accounting on certain matters. And if certain names are raised, certain names are mentioned, those people will be contacted, and if they are found culpable, they will be put before courts, then to defend themselves. And if they fail, appropriate sanctions will be meted out to them. And we shouldn't tell me to be political witch hunting. You see, Adebakone said, okay, report no Adebaya. He mentioned the member of parliament for Wasa East, the NDC former deputy minister, and member of parliament for Wasa East. Say, no, my war, the Upper Wasa Forest Reserve.
Okay.
Has he been a friend said, witch hunting? Say, be a member of the NDC and answer witch hunting. One will say, be a bidding say, Sanipa will say, Embra. A process, investigation, a process. You must start from somewhere to arrive at somewhere. And when you say, be a friend Anthony Nupenua, it doesn't mean, say, Anthony Nupenua, because Article 19 of the Constitution, you know, purposively grants the presumption of innocence to in all matters. Even if I'm caught in the act, the law presumes that I am innocent until proven guilty.
Okay.
But what I say, the law presumes that I am innocent until proven guilty. So Professor Frimpong Boateng has all the arsenals at his disposal to raise issues contrary to the assertion of the Office of the Special Prosecutor to exonerate himself.
Okay.
We should not create a class society whereby we see people not to be untouchable. It is sad that based on expertise, it is sad that based on his intellectual acumen, based on his fame, any idea not ended this way. So somebody, the world acclaimed heart surgeon, the first black heart surgeon, the person who established the cardiothoracic center of the Kolibu Teaching Hospital, the person who throughout his life has demonstrated goodwill to the state, what contested flag bearership, wanting to be president, what be serving as a minister of state, and at this time, you know, some of these matters, you know, are weaving through his way. At least I will urge him to stand firm, and they will nimbiano offer my office of the special prosecutor. No? And I know he has a team of lawyers. Almost leading in this interrogation, almost prepping for the interrogation. And once he's exonerated now, raising the doubt, among for the presumption, among for warfare, and all these conspiracy theories are here propounding again. Okay. So the public should have the faith that there is no witch hunting as far as these matters are concerned. Names are out. We are all aware of these excavators. We are all aware of these gold nugget matters. We are all aware. I am from a mining community. I am from Obuasi. And our compatriots, some of them complained their machines were seized. And as far as this, some of them complained. So gold nuggets were taken away from them. And it is sad. So we back struggle and mining, whether they were mining illegally or illegally, you know. Say, yeah, them rakwan so na eja anya ya. Okay. Na obi abeje, na bia na ankwamfa due process, no they are enriching ho. Na nipa no so ko started the illegality na so no. Ababa ebi okoje ebesia kra, no na be the end person to suffer the consequences of it. It is not fair. We must create a fair and balanced society. Ebebo ama ye nyina na nya good standing in society. We have faith in our state institutions. So we should not create any conspiracy.
Anthony, listening to all the Abano, there's no grounds for us to suspect any witch hunting anywhere.
Me call witch hunting also. But people who arrive at that position because of the time and Nyodiba to dry the Jawokrum ha then or leaky report, you know, is it bad faith? Why is he doing this at this time? Why is he mentioning names? Gabi has sued him already in court. And Afina special prosecutor any interest number and the angle. So definitely, you know, as a people,
Captain Kodak has sued him.
As people, no, assemble, we only rush on the partisan angles. Intina Krumhano, yet see.
Okay.
Yeah, man, your phone. Sasem daho. Na say, a technical man to handle it. Media for media man your phone beam. Then we twist it to line up in our party colors. Then the real issue is there, it's not being touched. Are you getting me? Intina Ekrumah, in some issues have not gotten solutions.
Okay.
Because we debate the issue without providing solutions as political actors. So for me, the Special Prosecutor's Office should exhibit professionalism, should bring out that confidence in the Ghanaians and say, look, I am arriving at this destination for the goodwill of the people of Ghana. We want to arrive at a destination to find out really how many excavators were seized, who are the owners of these excavators, where are they, how many have illegally been given to other people to go and perpetrate illegality again in the forests and the water bodies. How many weapons, how many gold nuggets were seized? What pounds were it? How much would they have given revenue to the state? I don't know. Are you getting me? Sika yedi masa office or committees of Jumanu really have they been audited? Have they accounted for it? Drones no muto ye wahin. Why have the drones served the purpose? All these things. When you look at the Auditor General's report, amount of money called drone purchase for this exercise. Have we arrived at that destination? The water is getting dirtier. The forest is getting depleted more. So where are we? Accounting for your stewardship should not be looked in the eye of witch hunting. Okay. I believe in Professor Alfred Bob-Boatin, ni stature and Juma Waye and the Dian. I don't think he's shaking. I don't think he's afraid of standing by the truth. And if the truth will commit him to jail, I think he will stand by it. Okay. And for me, I wish him all the best. The office should exhibit that professionalism. Ghana for GDA.
Okay. All right, that's it. Menko Facebook na menka messages kakra. Johnny Tex Odromenu say I'm enjoying the show from Asawase Kumasi. My regards to Honorable Alan Kojo Chamantin and Honorable Francis Owusu-Achiang, incoming MP for Joabin constituency. Yusuf Suleiman says, good morning. Eric Kwekubwadi says, patriotic voice, Bichem, regards to Honorable Alan Kojo Chamantin. Asin North by-election is going to be a landslide victory for the MPP because the people of Asin believe that it is only MPP government that has the capacity and competency to move Ghana forward with more developmental projects. Good, God bless MPP. Government breaking the 8 is assured. Greetings to Mr. Kweku Nkansa, MD of PBC. Hamza Jr. De Maestro say, good morning, watching live from Nkwanta Oti region. My name is Masaudu Hamza Jr. Capello. Kojo, what kind of okay. I don't mean near patch there with your comment there. Why name misleading? Why? I'm not sure someone is misleading someone. This one says, okay, Sandra Banafo will comment on Sami Jem Fino. I would edit it or say, why is he now exhibiting his ignorance now because he doesn't understand the law and it's not clear to the general public? Okay, let's see. Hernandez Fidel Hayford said, good morning, host. This Fidel from Kwesmin team. Agriculture is Ghana's future, and Dr. Free Akoto is the future. Akoto for NPP, NPP for Akoto. No Akoto, no vote. Okay. Let's see. Mohammed Ibrahim Al Hassan says, good morning, Adum TV. Thank God. God bless you. God bless us in another weekend, Saturday morning. I wish you all the best regards. Keep the fire burning and better healthy lifestyle, prosperous long journey. Okay. Kofi Tips, watching and listening to you from Techiman at Doom TV to the world. Greetings to Mr. King at Techiman. Okay. Yusuf Suleiman says, breaking the 8th issue with Vice President. Okay. Good morning, guys. So sad how MPP has destroyed the country. President Nana Addo promised Ghanaians that he is coming to fight against corruption, but now corruption is fighting against President Nana Addo. Well, maybe everyone should bet me afraid. Okay, we can just pick some 3 calls or 4 and 2 from our bonito. 03022111701, 03022111701, 03022111702, 03022111703. Ubet me afraid. Ofra on the phone, no, Menti or TV. Na bonito ni enkona ye try course wana bana menje my last comment na fede.
My last comment will be on the first issue too.
Okay.
As people, as journalists, have we asked ourselves, Adentina, the current constitution drafted by persons who were not legally trained has survived 30 years. Because the first constitution, the second constitution, the third constitution were drafted by lawyers. None existed for 10 years. Because of disagreement on little issues. In terms of first, second, and third constitution, it didn't sit well with the people, so soldiers took arms and overthrew them. Because it didn't go with the common man. But the constitution that the common man, the market women, the teachers, the medical professionals drafted today is 30 years over.
Okay.
Now, the people who have disagreed with this are people in the legal fraternity. We disagree so much and create pandemonium in this country. Lawyers should save us. They are creating too much.
Including your friend lawyer Savijay Fidan. Akismi, Akismi, good morning. I will be quiet. Akismi, Pacho, we born it tell mommy because of Mre and Timayanko.
Then says the Q Casaba Companado, Yura, okay, Magana for 2 Abaman, sir, also Becon Atia, corruption, and the corruption, and I can set you in office. Now, from what issue, I am one because another way created or back credit here. I kiss me, Madasi.
We me who send you the office the Bermuda, but also bet me after 0302 211701 0302 211702. Na also can na all from me and patchment or TV so team phone so na yembone tel yeah afago
yeah kwesi ya make catch Ghana phone and say Jumedia office of the special prosecutor AD no ma o mfa omani bubu se obi na ye bibi na obi na ye bibi. We want to create an equitable society here emra no wa emra no fa wo bia na so ugina mra nim na we exonerate wo ho say ade a omampanyi wo tumi say otimi do bi go to prison like Kwame Nkrumah the PDA or the Prevention Detention Act no and etimi chill without any prosecution ye do to prison omampanyi was ade na nka say bi nka bia nka yewra opuni the case I travel for over 6-7 years since I'm in prison there's ugina court a oyi ne ho ano ne ade emra no eye adwuma edisi ne mra ye wo mu no obi timi nka so de mra e we chante one the tumi e we chante
emba so sa yo all right Emmanuel Wilson on here tonight till now Mr. Wilson medase for joining us why medase pa for being with us and sharing your viewpoint. Okay menyanente yes Salasi memo just 20 seconds bonito mame okay. All right, your friends society, they be share. Nah, now you're there,